All right. Hi. This looks like this has finally worked. So, that's great news. Um, Name's Ash. I will be talking about news today. Sorry, there's a little bit of low quality. I'm having some issues with lights and camera and mic. So, essentially, everything essential to streaming. But that's cool. We're going to make it work. And what's really important here is, you know, talking. I figured today we might go through some news. I have a couple newsletters queued up right now, but I thought maybe to begin, we could go through trending topics on Twitter. I feel like even though Twitter's not a reliable source for news, I think it's a really good way to sort of like put your ear to the ground and figure out what people are talking about. And then you can use that information to go get your actual news from more reputable sources. All right, without further ado, let's see what's going on. More headlines with the Depp v. Heard trial, of course, which, has really taken over the news cycle in recent days. I have heard some discussion from people saying, like, oh, this is so strange. When did this national occupation with this sort of thing begin? And some people were attributing it to the recent cultural phenomena that is consumption of true crime media. But I think, looking back at the OJ trial and other things like that throughout history, um, people have really gathered around, I guess, this sort of like punitive trial system. It's a way for humans. I read a lot of stuff about this when I was writing my thesis. Engaging in these collective moral displays to involve, punishment or other punitive measures are really a way for people to bond while also affirming that they themselves are, good moral people and are in the right. So it's sort of a strange communal thing that definitely has a lot of past precedent to it. Um, all right. San Francisco Archbishop Salvatore Cordileone's intent he intends to ban House Speaker Nancy Pelosi from receiving Holy Communion because of her support for abortion rights. Actually, I'm from California, where Nancy Pelosi is also from, and my local House representative is Jackie Spear, and she has been, really forthcoming about having had a medically necessary abortion in her past. And I think like it really is just so important that politicians speak out to defend Roe v. Wade and abortion rights for women. This is more of my personal opinion, but I haven't seen it from many male politicians. Um, Recently, a couple uh, musicians, Young Thug and Gunna, were jailed for RICO charges, basically racketeering and organized crime. Their record label, YSL, prosecutors are now alleging is a gang and not just a record label. Um, and that, you know, prosecutors say they have documentation of these musicians inciting others to commit violent acts. RICO charges tend to be pretty serious. From my, knowledge of legal situations, these don't tend to be brought against people unless they've got some pretty solid backup. Wow, my computer's dying really fast these days. It's cool. It's a cool 5 years old, and it is 4. So there's that. Russia has banned 963 Americans from entering the country, including President Biden, Vice President Harris, actor Morgan Freeman, and more. Apparently, however, Donald Trump is not listed among those now banned from Russia. I wonder what Morgan Freeman did to Putin. Like what's that beef? The trailer for Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning has come out. That will be in theaters in summer 2023. Memorial Day is coming up this Monday. So that is a holiday. Mike Pence has apparently stated that he is open to running against Trump in 2024. And there seems to be sort of a schism within that former duo. TikTok is trending on Twitter with almost 1 million tweets. Apparently, this week it will launch live creator subscriptions. That's interesting, especially because, this is part of a project on live streaming the news, particularly on Twitch and now YouTube Live. And so apparently we've got a new entry into this field. That's pretty cool, actually. Why don't we take a quick break so I can do the Wordle? I think my computer will die if I try and screen share, but I will take us through verbally my process, if you will. All right, why don't we start off with Viola? Oh, we've got the I in the correct position, so that's green. None of the other letters are correct at all. Try and get like a T and an S in there. T-I. Tears? T-I-E-R-S. So the E is correct. It's yellow, so it's somewhere in there, but the rest of the letters are gray. Why don't we try D-I... Nope. H-I... T-E... M-I... No. I feel like most of my Wordle process is just like, if I try find, F-I-N-E-D. If I use any of those? Okay, so the I and the N are in the correct position. The E is not, which means either the word starts with E, which is unlikely, or it ends with E. So I've got blank I-N blank E. All right. Hinpyw-G. Hinky? No. Let's see. Probably doesn't start with an H, P-I-N. What if we tried that? Pinky. No, there's not even an E in that. What am I doing? This happens to me sometimes when I play Wordle. I just space out and then do something dumb. All right, so we're not going to get it in 4. I feel like we got to redeem ourselves by getting it in 5. At least we know the letters P, K, and Y are not involved. So that leaves us with Q, W, U, G, H, J, B, M, Z, X, and C. B, bind. Windy? No. We know there's not a D in there. Let's come back to that. Sometimes I feel like my brain needs a break mid-wordle, which might be a little silly, but um, I get frustrated with myself and then I forget what I am doing. Um, why don't I pull up a newsletter and we can jump into that? I am a subscriber of the San Francisco Chronicle because that is relevant to my daily life. And I think they have really great articles. They announced today that the San Francisco Police Department will not march in this year's Pride Parade. San Francisco Pride, I've been before, it's a massive affair every year. Um, and traditionally, the police, I believe, have had a float. Like the mayor, who's currently London Breed, is in there. But I guess parade organizers asked that they not participate this year. They also asked that police officers in the crowd not wear their uniforms, which sparked backlash from the police department, who said that that was akin to discrimination. So do with that information what you will. Could Silicon Valley's infamous Sand Hill Road turn into affordable housing? Locals say it's unlikely. Yeah, no, I also heavily doubt that. Sand Hill Road is near Stanford University. There's, I think, a lot of tech sort of companies down there. It's the type of place where a salad retails for $18. I think definitely it's an area that's in need of affordable housing, but I can't imagine that that is close to happening. The Golden State Warriors are one win away from the NBA Finals, for all you basketball fans out there. Nonprofit Urban Alchemy hires formerly incarcerated people to address addiction, mental illness, and homelessness on San Francisco streets. It's faced both the support and criticism in the neighborhood. Let's see. California is about to begin a massive dam removal project in the hopes of helping attract back and improve quality of life for a lot of the local wildlife. A San Francisco artisan is the sole proprietor of Major League Baseball's rosin bags. I'm not even sure what a rosin bag is, but good for them. Like many other places have during the pandemic, the Bay Area has experienced this massive surge in housing prices. So that's going on right now. Um, yeah, I don't know if there's much to say about that other than that it's unfortunate. Some Bay Area restaurants list every worker's name on the menu. Why don't we open up that article and see why that is? They will explain it. Almost like credits, I'm guessing, in like a movie. Californios began adding staff names to its menu a few years ago to give credit to not just the most visible players, owners and chefs, but the entire team. I appreciate that. However, I bet employees also appreciate, fair wages. Not that that's any commentary on that restaurant's wages. I have no clue what they are. Gavin Newsom earns 4 more years as California governor. All right. Marin County considers temporary ban on new vacation rentals amid housing crunch. I've seen a lot of discourse recently about sort of like the Airbnb movement and how that has really hurted or has really hurt some people attempting to buy housing or rent housing, and its prices have steadily risen over the years since it was founded. Um, and so now it's sort of comparable to a hotel price, which I think has caused some frustrations among certain communities of people, sort of saying, it's making housing more difficult, and these prices are hotel prices. So people are wondering what the benefit is. Bull escapes Northern California rodeo arena, injures bystanders. That's not a headline you see every day. The quail fire near Vacaville has stopped growing with no injuries or damages reported. If you live in the California area or other fire-prone areas, please be careful. Remember to stay alert and take all necessary precautions. Fire season is here. A Mill Valley High School student is unionizing her Starbucks. The first Starbucks recently unionized, I think, in just the last few months, but I know that there's still a lot of stores that are attempting to organize, and I've heard discourse surrounding possible retaliation, though obviously that's a pretty serious allegation that I'm certainly not leveling right now. All right, should we go back to Wordle and see if I have any better luck now? All right. M-I-N. B-I-N. Binge. Hinge. Well, we got it in 6. Wordle feels so sassy when it goes few. That's actually my first time getting it in 6, but still feels unnecessarily sassy, Wordle. Oh, hashtag monkeypoxalypse is trending online. I, you know, um, I believe that monkeypox has been detected in 2 states now, and possibly a third. I think maybe Florida. Um, but Biden is saying that monkeypox is not as concerning as COVID. Um, a Russian tank commander was also jailed for life over a war crime, which was killing a civilian. And it's the first war crimes trial since the war in Ukraine began. It was a big week in music. Harry Styles released his latest studio album, I believe, over the weekend. And also here at Northwestern, it was Dillo Day. The nighttime headliner was Dominic Fike, who made some comments about Amber Heard, specifically that he thought she was attractive, and made reference to wanting her to beat him, which was believed to be an allusion to the ongoing trial, the defamation trial with Johnny Depp. Other headliners, the daytime headliner was Remy Wolf. Other performers included Sean Kingston, Vice Tone, and Tinashe. It was a really big day. I believe that Northwestern says they have 16,000 attendees. And it did rain, which caused some postponements and some cancellations among some of the artists. But overall, I think it was a pretty successful day, even though the surrounding area got very muddy. All right, let's see what else is going on in the world. Pulling up the news. Got probably 10 minutes until my computer dies tops. So, Travis Barker and Kourtney Kardashian had their second or third wedding. This one was in Italy. So, quite a destination. The Ellen Show is ending. Oh, over the weekend, John Mulaney, the comedian, brought out Dave Chappelle as a surprise opener for one of his comedy shows, which I think caused some surprise and consternation among audience members because Chappelle has been in headlines recently for anti-trans commentary. Cast members Aidy Bryant, Kate McKinnon, and Pete Davidson all exited SNL this week. Oh, and a 32-year-old runner collapsed after the finishing line of the Brooklyn Half Marathon and later passed away. There was a large heat wave on the East Coast this weekend, which I believe is expected to break either like last night or today. Hmm. Apparently, there was a joke circulating recently that a Bored Ape, as in the NFT series dating app, recently shut down because no women signed up. That was just a prank, according to BuzzFeed News. Taylor Swift last week gave commencement speech at New York University. George Bush accidentally called his invasion of Iraq wholly unjustified. Um, Apparently seemed to be a slip of the tongue, but it's interesting. Kardashians are in the news cycle quite a lot. Selling Sunset star Christine Quinn is leaving the Oppenheim Group to go invest in crypto real estate. Oh, last week, Grubhub ran a lunch special in New York City during the hours of somewhere around 11 to 2. Don't take my word for that. And apparently, the site was receiving 6,000 orders a minute. I believe it gave people a coupon for something like $15, and a lot of people were having their orders canceled or waiting hours. And I think restaurants were just incredibly overwhelmed with the demand that was received. COVID has officially killed over 1 million Americans now. Um, this comes amid a new Omicron variant surge. Senator Ted Cruz successfully argued before the Supreme Court for an end to a cap on how much money candidates can collect after an election to repay their own personal loans. Okay. The next season of Bridgerton will reportedly focus on Colin and Penelope's relationship, which is a divergence from the order of the book series, in which the third book focuses on second eldest brother Benedict's relationship with a woman named Sophie. I know that there's been a lot of discourse around fans, or at least some of them, wanting Benedict to provide queer representation in the show, even though that is not canonical in the book. Ooh, churchgoers tackled a gunman and hogtied him after a deadly shooting in California. I believe I remember reading that the pastor in that situation hit the shooter with a chair and he was tackled as he was attempting to reload his weapon. Obviously, the Buffalo grocery store shooting that occurred last week killed 10 people and is another one of the many mass shootings that occur in the United States every year. My computer is dying soon, which means we are almost. Oh no. Britney Spears experienced a miscarriage. My condolences to Britney. It's very sad. Um, all right. I think to end, I'll just mention that Kendall Jenner recently made a kind of surprising amount of headlines for seemingly struggle to cut a cucumber for a snack.